Evolutionaries, it's Kiki and Mossy. Say hi, Mossy. He's getting so freaking big. And I know I've been missing for 2 weeks. First, I was in the process of finishing up my move, and I'd injured myself a couple times to the point of having to go to the doctor, and I had to wear a boot for the last 2 weeks. I'm still having to wear it off and on, but excruciating foot pain, not fun. And then last week, I accidentally washed my phone, and my phone's the only way I can make videos, and it did not survive. So I had to wait about a week to get a replacement. So, voila, here I am. Yes. And so this week we're talking about our self-acceptance journeys, what inspired us, what started it, all that good information. And I will admit that before I started this a few years ago, I'm actually relatively new to this, about 3 years maybe. And before I started this, the idea of this would have never popped in my head. It would never have occurred to me at all. To me, there was only one possible way of being when you were a fat person, and that was hating yourself and dreaming of the day when you were, you know, thin and acceptable, and you lived for that day. You paused your life until then, and you didn't do things that then people could do because it just wasn't done. It was like an impossibility. And so I knew no other way to be. And I had tried so many things. I'd yo-yoed on my weight so much. And I really had gotten to the point where I was like, there's no way. It's gonna be impossible. I will never be thin. And I slowly started killing myself. And not in the fact of, you know, I got fatter or whatever. I literally stopped doing things. I went to work because I had to pay my bills and stuff. But even that suffered greatly. I missed a bunch of days. I went in late all the time. But outside of work, pretty much I spent all my time curled up in bed. When I worked for years, I worked Monday through Friday. And I would come home Friday night, immediately after work, crawl into bed, and I would stay in bed until Monday morning. I might get up to go to the bathroom, occasionally get up and get water, but I wouldn't eat. I'd go the entire weekend without eating, and I did that pretty much every single weekend. I just completely just stopped. I stopped paying attention to my body. I'd already, at the time I didn't realize, but I was heavily dissociated because of my past. And so that just got worse to the point where I never realized things that were going around me. I was slowly my whole being was completely just slowly shutting down. And I spent a lot of time trying to lose myself in other things. If I wasn't just off and on all in, I would read an obscene amount of books, or I'd watch videos. And I got really big into YouTube about 4 years ago. And then I realized that there were musicians, like independent musicians on YouTube, and I decided I'm going to watch these musicians. So I'd search for new ones all the time. And that's how I ran across Megan Tonjes. And at the time, when I found her, I loved her voice. I thought she was extremely inventive, on the way she, what's the word I'm thinking of? Oh my God. Her composition, not the composition, but the way she would change the layup of the music and the specific song. Like she would change I don't remember what song it was that she did a cover of, that was just very different from the original. I just loved the way she did it. And I loved her voice. I loved everything about her. And so I became a little obsessed with watching her music videos. And then one day I just randomly decided to watch one of her, I think it was a vlog or something. I don't remember exactly what it was for. But she was talking about body acceptance, about loving herself. It blew my mind. It literally blew my mind. I did not think it was possible. Like, it was kind of like she suddenly started flying. I was completely confused. And so I watched a few more videos, and then she had one where she pointed toward a few other people, like the Vlogbrothers, Tyler Oakley. It was, I think it was the 5 Awesome Gays was where I actually saw Tyler Oakley. But yeah, 5 Awesome Gays and Project Life Size. And so I started watching these videos, these other channels, and it literally saved my life, literally, because I do not think, had I not run across that, I do not think I would be alive today, because had the slowly killing myself thing had not worked out, I would have evolved to the quickly killing myself thing, because I was already at that point. And it got really bad, guys. And I started understanding that I'm a person and I'm allowed to be, no matter if I want to change myself, if I want to work toward being thin, okay, whatevs. But I don't have to disappear as a person until I do. I can be a person even when I'm fat. Oh my God. It was a completely like life-changing idea, and it really did change a lot of things for me, because it not only did it start me on that path, on the path of living again, on actually, you know, taking care of myself and actually having a life and taking care of my life, but it also got me on the path of dealing with my PTSD and my dissociation. I've talked about before how I was actually assaulted. I was actually assaulted multiple times with multiple people, and then I went through about 20 years of abuse from a specific person. Until about a year ago, I wouldn't have admitted. I wouldn't even have seen it as abuse, because in my head they loved me, and because they loved me, it negated any bad thing they did. And it wasn't until about a year ago, after I started seeking therapy, because I'd gotten to that, started getting better and started actually working on things, that I realized all these things. And it has completely, so many people who would have met me around that time would not recognize me now. People who met me when I was like 20 wouldn't recognize me now. And I'm such a better person for it, because randomly running across a music video, I think it was a Britney Spears song, all because of Britney Spears covers. This is how it changed my life, or at least started me on the path of it. Someday, I do want to let, not to like kind of like elevate them, but there's certain people, especially, I know people have mentioned Megan, but Megan Tonjes, but there's a few other people too that I want to write them and let them know that they literally did save my life, and just so that they know that the things they do make a difference, even if it was just to me. Yeah. So it's crazy how the most mundane things will lead you on a path that will completely change your life, like searching Britney Spears videos on YouTube. I'm gonna keep saying that because that's what I was doing. Anyway, so I have a camera again, and I actually have a tripod, so I'm not all shaky, and I will be able to make videos and see you lovely, lovely people every week. So see you next week.